The tour has started, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very excited about it. We went to Warrnambool on the weekend for the first show. Geez, it's a long way down the freeway. A lot of road. People are like, how was Warrnambool? I'm like, roadie on the way there. Once you get there, sure, fine. Lovely beach town. Rip a place to go die. That's what Warrnambool is. Oh, man, if you are 80 and the heart's slowing down, just drive up the freeway and you'll have a great time dying there. It's one of those places, like young people, it's not a great place to live, but it is a great place to die. And that's the Warrnambool guarantee. That's a great slogan for Warrnambool. Yeah. Great place to, no, shit place to live, great place to die. Come on down and we'll bury you. That's good. Man, the grave, whoever's running the grave there must be making fucking coin. That's for sure. Dude, I was doing my show at a bowls club and there was so much confusion because Warrnambool's such a tiny place, but there's like 4 bowls clubs because it's a great place to go die. And everyone was like, which bowls club are you doing? Hey, read the ticket. But also, fair enough. A place shouldn't have that many bowls clubs. It was awesome. So yeah, the show was sick. Man, it was loose. Literally right from the start, before I got onto the stage, man, I was just on. But accidentally. So Ruben's opening for me. You know, I'll be honest, I was a little nervous. Haven't done a show in 2 years by myself, pretty much, since mid-2019. So just under 2 years. And I was nervous, you know? Like, I don't really get nervous before shows anymore. People always ask me that. Like, do you get nervous? I'm like, nah, it's just, I'm pretty confident, you know? But for some reason, I was just nervous again because I was like, it was a thing I hadn't done in a while, hadn't done an hour. We did a trial show on Thursday, Patreon only, which is the shit you only get if you're Patreon, man. We did a Patreon only trial show, Lewis Spears and I. We both ran our new hour. And man, here's the thing. My hour was like sporadic and I didn't know half of it. And there was no bits that really bombed. Lewis knew all his shit. Like, it was definitely more polished than mine, but there was some bits that he had that just fucking bombs. He did this bit about drowning his cat and everyone was just staring at him like, hey man, is this a joke? Sounds like you want to kill your cat. Even afterwards, I was like, hey, maybe get rid of the cat bit, man. I'm like, but the seagull bit was great. Keep the seagull bit, dude. Not the cat bit. My one was kind of like, it was good. There were some bits that just did not work. But some bits I discovered just were way funnier than I thought it was. I discovered while I was doing the bit. I think that's what I'm loving about this new show so far. I've only done it like twice at the trial show in Warrnambool. Warrnambool was probably the most fun I've ever had on stage. It was like Canberra show in 2019 that fucking ripped. But man, I was just loving it. You know, I watched it back and, you know, it was great. But like in the moment, I was just like, dude, this is just so much fun. There was a VCal kid in the front row of my show on the weekend that had to Google what fog was. You can't write that. Like, everyone's like, do the fog bit right at the start. So this dude has 50 minutes to figure out what fog is, right? I do it at the end of the show, the fog bit, right? I'm not doing it early, you know? And then, and by the way, it's not a guarantee. I'm only doing it on request. It's part of the fog bit rules, you know? I only do it if it's loudly chanted. It's just the way it is. So, but if, you know, people were chanting it, there was a lot of fog enthusiasts in. I'm not surprised. It's the greatest bit of stand-up comedy of all time. You know what my favorite part about the fog bit is? I tell people it's the greatest bit of stand-up comedy of all time. And not only does it live up to their expectations every goddamn time, it exceeds it. People come off stage and go, you said it was the best bit of all time. And, you know, there's Jim Jeffries' gun bit. There's Michael McIntyre has some ripping bits. So does Seinfeld. Bill Burr has some great bits. Well, come on, lads, step it up. It ain't no fogging, that's for sure. And people come off stage and still go, Luke, you've done it. It is the greatest bit of all time. You wrote such a funny bit of comedy about mist. It's wild. Anyway, geez, I've now really talked people are like, really, Luke? Better than Bill Burr, a guy that's been doing it for 30 years. Yep. It's the Luke Kidgell guarantee. It's the fog guarantee. But it's only done upon request. Anyway, so this guy has 50 minutes to figure out what fog does. He spends a lot of the show, at the bar, just, chilling. There was one point in the show where the same guy, by the way, ripper bloke, don't want to shit on the guy. These three guys were fucking sick in the front row. Two of them were builders. One of them was a car salesman. Dude, they were talking throughout Ruben's set, and Ruben got so angry at him. Ruben was like, shut the fuck up. And I was like, oh my God, when the opener tells you to shut the fuck up, man, you probably need to pipe down a bit. But it was funny because the same guy before the show, this is how relaxed regional shows are. And it's why I love doing like shitty bowls clubs and pubs and stuff. Because there's no other venues in Warrnambool. It's either you do a pub or a bowls club, right? Any place that has a function room, I'll do. I'll sit in there and tell my jokes in, right? But we're backstage, by the way, which is the toilet. But it's a bowls club toilet, so it's more of like a change room / meeting room.
Yeah,
it was really odd. There was like a table in there. Like you ate your dinner in there.
I had to finish my dinner in there because the doors opened. Yeah.
It sounds gross. Like it's like, really, Reese, you ate your dinner in a toilet? It had a toilet in there, but it was more than that. There was lockers, there was a table, there was like meeting room chairs. Yeah. Very strange. The women's bathroom, which we used last year on our Warrnambool show, had couches in the toilet. It was beautiful. Oh man, the chicks get it. The guy was still kind of dirty. But this is how relaxed regional shows are. This guy who's coming to see me in the show, he's the guy in the front row, who's mates with the VCAL kid. He's there to see me. Like, he must know who I am, surely.
Yeah.
He must have at least done it. Like, even if his mates dragged him along, but he got a photo with me afterwards. He's definitely a fan, right?
Yeah.
This is how little people give a fuck about comedians. He walks in, doesn't even go, oh, hey, Luke. Like, oh, I've walked in a room and the guy who's performing's here. Not even like, didn't even do eyebrows. His eyebrows didn't even raise slightly. He just walks in and goes, is this where the toilet is? And me and Ruben are standing there like rehearsing our jokes. This is the first show of the tour. We're like, what the fuck are we going to say? And then we're like, no, the toilet's like down there. I mean, there was a toilet there, but I was like, fuck off, And then I was like, nah, man, it's out the corridor. He's like, all right, boys, thanks. He's like, good luck. And I was like, okay, cool. And then the guy afterwards was like, mate, big fan. And I was like, you literally an hour ago couldn't give a shit about me and then talk through my whole opener set. Very regional vibes. So, yeah. And then I was doing this bit about people who drive manuals, right? Just trashing dudes who fucking drive manuals. And I got like 2 minutes into this bit. It's pretty obvious at this point my stance on the issue. I'm very anti-manual, pro-auto is the joke, right? This VCAL kid, same guy who had to Google what fog was. He stops me mid-sentence and goes, wait. Which is already like, people I think forget sometimes, like, it's a one-way thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I talk, that's why I've got the microphone. I talk and it's amplified through the speakers and your job is to be like, yes. And then, I don't mind the odd occasional, back and forth with the crowd. But he just goes, wait. And I'm just like, I stop my joke and I go, what? And he goes, he wasn't joking.
Yeah.
He goes, so you drive auto, right? You don't drive a manual. And I go, yeah. That's the premise of the last 2 minutes. Keep up, right? This dude's still like, I'm on stage, man. But I've been on stage for half an hour. This dude just randomly laughs out loud. I'm like, I bet he was just laughing at the joke Ruben said like half an hour ago. This guy's just like, if Internet Explorer was a human being, the guy was just on dial-up. I could see his face buffering throughout the show. It was crazy. But anyway, man, thanks for coming out. I don't think he's going to come back. I mean, but also not my fault, At not one point was I like, oh man, you should talk. He was doing that. There was this one guy in the crowd that was like just weirdly compulsively lying. Like at the start, he was like, I work for KFC. Remember I told you that last year? And I go, no. Like, people, it's so funny. They go, do you remember me from last year? And I'm like, you mean the guy who was also a dark shadow in the room a year ago? No, I'm sorry, but I just didn't remember that interaction. Have a lot of dumb interactions with people. It's kind of my job. And then it turns out halfway through the show, this guy doesn't work at KFC. What a weird thing to lie about. Some people are so weird.
Yeah.
They're like, I work at KFC. And I'm like, was that even... It's not a funny thing to lie about either. Like, maybe you could be like, you know, what's a funny job? There aren't really many funny jobs. You know, I didn't really know, like, if there's a job that's particularly funny to lie about doing. But anyway, guys, it was a great show. Oh, and then this is the first story I was supposed to tell. On the way to the stage... There was just like, Ruben's like, all right, welcome to stage, Luke Kidgell, and everyone's clapping. And then I'm like kind of walking to the stage, and then I spot this cockroach on the ground just scurrying across, and I freak out. I'm like, ah! And then everyone in the whole crowd just sees me go, ah! And like, I kind of flamboyantly like fling myself over this cockroach to avoid stepping on it, and then spend the first 3 minutes of the show. Like, my brothers come on tour with us on the weekend. My brother and Simo, his mate, were there, and I spent the first 3 minutes of the show going, kill it, Jack, get rid of it, fuck it up. And that's why, you know, travel with the crew. I'm a diva, you know. I don't want to kill any cockroaches. It's my show, god damn it. I bring in the people, you kill the cockroaches. That's the arrangement. So yeah, it was such a fun show. Please, I didn't have to say please. I'm actually selling so fucking good this year. I'm not going to lie, guys. This is my year. I was listening to that all-time low song, Weightless, on the way home from Warrnambool. And I was like, maybe it's not my weekend. But it also was my weekend. And then it's like, but it's going to be my year. And I was like, oh my God, this is the year that Alex from All Time Low was referring to. Hell yeah, 15-year-old Luke was very satisfied.
Somewhere on the scene, it got a little longer, so it seems. I burned out, so to speak. Now come a little closer.